covering news where you live. This is 5 News This Morning.
Well, hey, good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on 5 News. Jacob Luthi filling in today. Tiffany is off. Always good to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be here early morning this morning. Got the coffee in, but it's been a great morning.
It has so far, and we got a lot of news to get for you and some things coming in last minute here into the newsroom. But first, we want to get a check of that weather with Steven. We've heard some rumblings out there this morning.
Yeah, we may have heard a little bit here and there, but overall pretty isolated out there. Only parts of Madison County now dealing with a few of those stray showers. For the most part, all of us are dry out there this morning, outside of just a few stray showers here and there. Of course, we heard it here at the station just briefly, but not too much to be worried about throughout the rest of the day today. Now, by the time we get to this afternoon into the evening hours, additional showers would be possible, mainly across parts of the River Valley. But again, not too much to be worried about. That overall severe risk remains pretty low for today. Now, we got some new information yesterday when it comes to Monday's tornado outbreak. Now we are up to 9 tornadoes that moved through parts of our viewing area. The 4 new ones, Gore Bunch there in eastern Oklahoma, Adair County, Shady Point in LaFleur County, and Bacola stretching over into western Arkansas. That is a tornado that affected parts of Fort Chaffee. All of them rated as an EF1 tornado with wind speeds anywhere between 100 up to 110 miles per hour. So here's an updated look at the tracks between all these different tornadoes. First, we start in Gore, just moving north of Gore. That's one of the new tornado warnings, or tornado ratings, excuse me, that's been issued across parts of Adair County. We eventually moved north of Bunch, then through Stillwell before crossing over into western Arkansas. Lincoln obviously had lots of damage, moving south of Prairie Grove, and then that EF2 tornado that landed there in Greenland and parts of Elkins as well. Now, what we're waiting on is to see if we have a tornado across the River Valley. We had 2, Shady Point, and then eventually Bacola through Fort Chaffee as well. Current temperatures out there this morning, starting off into those upper 50s and low 60s. Not too much to be concerned about out there this morning. Really nice start to the day for most of us, just dealing with a lot more of that cloud coverage. Now, by the time we get to this afternoon into the evening hours, a few more of those scattered showers. An isolated thunderstorm can't be ruled out either. We do have that level 1 marginal risk south of I-40 for today. Let's get a check of some traffic out there this morning. Here's a live look across the Arkansas River. Sure, a lot more cloud coverage out there this morning, but a really nice start to the day. No accidents, no slowdowns as you head out the door.
All right, thanks for that to Stephen. Well, developing overnight, a suspect is now in custody after police say he killed 2 Israeli embassy employees in Washington.
Yeah, the shooting took place near Washington's FBI field office, where employees heard shouting, "Free Palestine." Here's the latest from Randy Ayala.
Yeah, good morning. We're outside the museum here. You can see police have this area taped off. We have 1 cruiser here sitting on it. We know that this happened just after 9 o'clock last night here outside the museum here on 3rd and F Streets in Northwest. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser saying in a late night press conference around midnight that a man and woman who worked at the Israeli embassy here in D.C. were leaving an event that was taking place here at the museum with 2 other people when a man who was apparently waiting outside the museum walked up to that group and shot them. We're told he then ran into the museum and was detained by police. Now, that suspect has been identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez from Chicago. The chief of police says as he was detained and brought back outside, he was saying, "Free Palestine." We did get a statement overnight from the American Jewish Committee, who was hosting the event here at the museum. They say in part, quote, "We are devastated that an unspeakable act of violence took place outside the venue. At this moment, as we await more information from the police about exactly what transpired, our attention and our hearts are solely with those who were harmed and their families." Right now, it's unclear if the suspect came from Chicago solely to commit this crime. We're awaiting additional details here. Also unclear at this point what charges he'll be facing, but we'll be out here all morning long staying on top of this developing story. In D.C., Randy Ayala, back to you.
All right, thanks for that. Well, Israel's ambassador to the U.S. says he spoke with President Trump last night. The president posted on social media saying, in part, hatred and radicalism have no place in the USA. Condolences to the families of the victims. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, currently the U.S. ambassador to Israel, speaking out about the shooting. He posted a statement on X overnight calling it a horrific act of terror.
Well, here's a live look at Capitol Hill, where just moments ago, House lawmakers passed a massive budget package, what President Trump dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
American people know better. The American people know Trump's tax cuts worked and need to be extended.
Stealing from those with the least to give to those with the most. It's not just bad policy, it's a betrayal.
A procedural vote to adopt the rule took place overnight, with a debate about the bill itself this morning.
Yeah, the bill will now head to the Senate. Over the last few days, factions of the GOP caucus have worked to hammer out the final details of the budget package. The bill would make the 2017 tax cuts permanent and include additional funding for border security, deportations, and defense, along with spending cuts to entitlement programs. Well, Congressman Steve Womack voting to advance this bill. He released a statement this morning saying, in part, passing the measure will help protect families from higher taxes and help them to build better lives for themselves and their loved ones. A massive manhunt continues in Louisiana for 5 of the 10 inmates who broke out of a New Orleans jail last week. Louisiana police say 2 more people have been arrested in connection with assisting those inmates in the Orleans Parish Jail escape. One of them actually brought 2 escapees, according to a statement, to multiple locations. The other helped an inmate get food after they escaped. Both are being charged with accessories after the fact, a felony. Continuing coverage in Greenland, the American Red Cross on the ground helping storm victims after this week's EF2 tornado. Volunteers are working street by street, helping people clean up in the hardest hit areas. They're also giving relief supplies like tarps, water, and blankets. Others are surveying damage and seeing what the immediate needs are.
We're going to continue calling people and stopping by people's houses and just assessing damage. After that, then we'll start making phone calls and checking to see if people need their medications replaced, because sometimes that gets lost in the disaster.
Anyone impacted by this week's tornado outbreak can reach out to the Red Cross at the number at the bottom of your screen. It's 1-800-RED-CROSS. You can also reach out through the American Red Cross website.
And now we're taking a look at storm damage in LaFleur County. Emergency managers say the worst of the damage is within a 2-mile radius around Shady Point, Oklahoma. They say even though there were multiple water rescues and property damage in the area, there are no reported injuries, but 2 families have been displaced. They have already put out a preliminary report with pictures of damage to send to the state, with the goal of getting the ball rolling on financial recovery for the area. And so far this year, Arkansas has had the 2nd most tornado warnings in the country, only behind Missouri. This map shows over 200 warnings in Arkansas and over 150 in Oklahoma.
Well, Walmart says it plans to eliminate roles at its corporate office and global technology team, all part of a push, they say, to simplify operations. The Bentonville-based company announced less than 1,500 people would be impacted. In a letter, leaders say the move is part of a, quote, building for the future. The plan will impact teams in global technology operations, e-commerce fulfillment in U.S. stores, and the advertising business Walmart Connect. Walmart added it was working closely with associates affected.
And $1 million in funding has been announced for the governor of Arkansas' statewide water infrastructure initiative. The Natural Resources Commission approved an additional $13 million that will go to improving water mains, replacing meters, and building storage tanks. It's estimated those improvements will impact more than 42,000 Arkansans. In a statement, Governor Sanders says Arkansans rely on local water utilities for consistent and safe water, which is why her office is aiming to improve water resources in the state.